From wrestling at Shadle Park to headlining in the UFC, now talking Mayweather McGregor with us, Michael Chiesa. So much build-up and hype. I mean, the lead-up to this fight has been ridiculous. What was your reaction when you found out this was actually going to go down?
You know, I knew for a long time this was going to happen. Just a lot of rumblings from within my circle. But you know, once it finally came to fruition, I'm excited. I'm a fan first, and this is a fan-friendly fight. You know, it's the best of both worlds that finally colliding, and it's going to be one of the biggest sporting spectacles of our life of this century. So it's going to be really fun to watch.
A lot of chatter going into this, people saying that Conor McGregor doesn't have a chance because it's Floyd Mayweather, nobody's beaten him. From your perspective, how do you see it?
Man, I've talked to some of my friends that have been around Conor within his training camp, and they said if you get in the same room as the guy, he's emitting a certain level of confidence that's hard to deny, you know, and you have to take a few things into consideration. Floyd's age, you know, he took 2 years off, and Conor is not only is he on the rise, he's on the rise as the best fighter in this sport, and he is undefeated as a striker. So, you know, there's a lot of things that Conor is doing right that is giving himself the best chance to win this fight and really pull off a huge win for, you know, team mixed martial arts.
It's hard to know what to expect from Conor once he gets into the ring because it's a bit out of his element. What do you expect his style, his approach to be?
Well, here's the thing. Conor didn't bring in a boxing coach. He stuck with his team. He believes in his team. He believes in his coaches. He brought in Jose Cortez as a referee into his camp to not only to officiate the sparring, but so Conor can learn the rules, but I also think that Conor is going to find ways to not manipulate the rules, but take advantage of certain things and be very unorthodox as compared to the guys that Floyd has faced in the past. He's taking all the right steps and all the right measures to make this not only competitive, but to win this fight.
And there could be kind of an element of surprise going into it where Floyd hasn't seen film on Conor. I mean, Conor has a better idea of what to expect, whereas he could use that to his advantage, the fact that Floyd doesn't really know what to expect from Conor.
And not to mention, I just think that Conor's going to go out there and do things that are going to make Floyd think that there's fouls. You know, I think that he's going to really push the stick in terms of like committing fouls. He's going to push the stick with the rules. And I think the first 5, if Conor's going to get the job done, it's going to be within the first 5 rounds. That's my prediction in terms of, you know, Conor's best chances within the first 5.
You're not just fighting anybody. You're not just fighting some boxer. I mean, guy who's undefeated, pound for pound, one of the greatest of all time. Floyd just knows how to win fights, right? He knows how to win rounds. A lot of times kind of keeps it boring. What makes Mayweather so tough to beat? Or even really challenging a lot of these fights?
What makes Mayweather so hard to beat is he scores points off defense. He scores points by making guys miss, good head movement, and that goes a long ways. Yeah, he's got a good straight right hand, he's fast, but it is his defense that scores him points. And it almost doesn't sound right to say that because scoring points involves offense. You know what I mean? So it's like Floyd wins by scoring with his defense, and that's why sometimes some of his fights, they come off as boring. But to myself, you know, as a fan of the sport and a student of the game, it's magic. He knows what he's doing. It's a beautiful, sweet science, him scoring with his defense. So I think that that's going to be his best thing he has going for him going into this fight.
You kind of beat me to the punch talking about a lot of Floyd fights being boring. We saw that with Mayweather-Pacquiao. But both guys have talked about wanting to knock each other out. Conor said he wants to do it within 4 rounds. Mayweather said that, you know, he wants to put Conor on the canvas. Do you expect to see somebody get KO'd by the end of the night Saturday?
I don't see Floyd coming out the gates throwing heat. I think that, you know, he's going to score with punches, you know, but he's not a knockout guy. He never really has been a knockout guy through his whole career, and I don't see him doing that. You know, we're talking, he's putting his 49-0 record on the line. But you know, that's Conor's best chance. Conor's a knockout guy. Conor does not go out to win decisions. He is pure offense. He looks to put people, you know, he wants people waking up face down on a Corona logo. You know, so I think that if anyone's going to win by knockout, it's going to be Conor. But I just don't see Floyd coming out with that same thing that he's been saying. I think it's just more playing the mental game, kind of getting Conor to bite on thinking that, you know, he's going to come out throwing heat, and I don't think that'd be a good idea.
Can Conor go the distance with him?
You know, the biggest chink in Conor's armor has been his cardio at times. We've seen that in the Nate Diaz fights, both Nate Diaz fights. He definitely had. There's some fatigue issues. You know, I've heard that he's weak to the body. You know, my boy Nate said some choice comments about when you hit Conor in the body, he whimpers. But you know, who knows? I know he took this fight very seriously. He did all his training at the UFC Performance Institute, which not only was he with his coaches, but some of the best strength conditioning coaches in the world. I know, you know, I think that he's made leaps and bounds in improving his cardio, but we'll see. You know, that's going to be, if Conor can't get it done in the first 5 rounds, it's going to be very interesting. 7 more rounds when you've been notorious, no pun intended, for having bad cardio. So we'll find out.
But what's been the reaction like in the UFC world with seeing Conor kind of go out on his own and do this and take on this huge challenge?
It's very mixed. There's some people that are very against it. For myself personally, Conor is the champion in my weight class. So by him going off and going on this endeavor, he has kind of put a backlock on our division in terms of, him being the champion. And, they've had to formulate an interim title fight in his absence. So yeah, sometimes myself personally, I can be upset, and other people, but a lot of us are also very excited. I think it's good for the sport. Conor, the money he's going to make this fight, it's going to trickle down and help us fighters generate more revenue ourselves. Him getting this huge payday, they're not going to leave this huge gap between him and us. And it's just a lot of mixed emotions. But I think at the end of the day, everybody's going to tune in, whether they like the fight or not, and we're all going to watch, and that's what matters most.
Gut feeling Saturday night. How do you think it's going to play out?
If it's a finish, it's Conor, and it's going to be in the first 5 rounds. But if they go the distance, I got to take Floyd. That's just what he does. And you have to respect the fact that even though Floyd is older, he's been off for 2 years, the dude knows how to fight. He's been doing it his whole life, and I'm sure he took this fight seriously. It's really tough for me to pick, but I think that I think Floyd might eke out a decision.
Yeah. Mike the Math on Mayweather McGregor. Appreciate it. Enjoy the fight.
Thank you.